You are only as good as you can communicate.
When you don't speak up. In the moment, it feels comfortable. It feels good. You may have some slight twinge of regret of, maybe I should have said something. But at the end of it, you are meeting somebody for the first time, or you're standing up in front of a group of people, or you're presenting an idea, whatever it might be. Do not rush. My name is X, and I am a Y, and I support A, B, and C. Do not rush.
Have you ever noticed how some people walk into a room and instantly light it up, while other people drain the air the moment they open their mouth?
When you pause, the first thing is you give people time to process what you're saying. Notice how when I pause, it gives you a chance to process the information.
Want to know how the most influential people pitch anything in less than 30 seconds? Here's a 3-step formula.
Speech is power. Speech is to persuade, to convert, to compel. Yo, we told you that we're going to be right back, and this is us keeping to that promise. Today's episode is going to be a mind buster. Like, it's something every business owner, every marketer needs right now. This is an educative channel. We're here to learn. As long as you're a business owner or you're a marketer, this is the best place for you. If you not hit the subscribe button, don't just let it slide, because we are trying to grow a very strong community. In today's episode, we've tried to put something together to see that every marketer and every business owner out there masters how to communicate. Okay, this is very, very essential. Don't forget, we are learning here. We all need to master how to communicate so that when we meet prospects ahead, we will know how to present our words and follow them. Without wasting much of your time, let us just relax and watch these videos behind. Let's go.
You are only as good as you can communicate. You see, this first circle, what does it represent? Well, this represents the value that you bring the rest of the world. Your gifts, your talents, your technical ability. I'm going to say you're a 10 out of 10. Now I'm going to draw a second circle. The second circle, represented by the red texter, what does that represent? That represents your communication ability. Let's say you're a 3 out of 10. Do you think they see someone who is a 3 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10? What do they see first?
You see a 3 out of 10.
People look at you and see you through the lens of your ability to communicate. So if you are only a 3 out of 10 with your communication skills, but the value you bring is a 10 out of 10, do you think they see you as a 3 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10? The reality is you're only as good as you can communicate. The moment you unlock your ability to communicate, you will unlock the potential that exists within you.
Have you ever noticed how some people walk into a room and instantly light it up, while other people drain the air the moment they open their mouth? Your energy sells before your words ever do. Most entrepreneurs think they need more scripts, more funnels, more tactics, but the truth is, what they really need is more energy. Because energy is the amplifier. Without it, all the scripts in the world won't save you. With it, even imperfect words can move people.
I need you to stop speeding through who you are and what you do. I need you to stop, please. I need you to commit to me that when you are meeting somebody for the first time, or you're standing up in front of a group of people, or you're presenting an idea, whatever it might be, do not rush. My name is X, and I am a Y, and I support A, B, and C. Do not rush your title. Because how you declare your name and your position and your worth to the world in that delivery tells the room everything they need to know about your value.
That's right.
And if you rush through that, if you try and quickly skip over it, it tells them, here's a woman that doesn't believe in her worth, that doesn't assert her value, and is nervous and intimidated standing up and presenting in front of a group of people. Just through that delivery. Your name, who you are, is so precious. It's a gift. Start treating it like one.
Speak clearly, if you speak at all. Carve every word before you let it fall.
Want to know how the most influential people pitch anything in less than 30 seconds? Here's a 3-step formula that separates the amateurs from the pros. Now, you might think that effective pitching requires some natural charisma or years of practice, but most people fail at pitching because they start with features instead of framing the problem first. Here's a 3-step formula that I call the FMT formula that works every time. Step number 1, frame it. Don't say, hey, I have a great product to show you. Instead, ask, have you ever struggled with and add a specific problem? That creates context, which connects emotionally. Step number 2, don't ramble about every feature. Nobody cares about all that. Instead, I want you to deliver one clear message that solves their direct problem. Keep it simple and focused. Step number 3, tie it down. I want you to say, so what this means to you is, and list that specific benefit based on what they mentioned earlier. Make the value explicit. So remember, frame, message, tie down. That's how you pitch anything in just 30 seconds.
Let me tell you what happens when you don't speak up. In the moment, it feels comfortable. It feels good. You may have some slight twinge of regret of, maybe I should have said something. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter that much. But then you do it again, and the opportunity to contribute or speak presents itself, and you don't take it. And then it happens again.
I literally faced
and over
this.
time, whether it be months or years, you start to teach people how to treat you. People begin to perceive you as quiet, shy, the wallflower. You become comfortable with not being seen. And because of that, you miss out on a relationship with yourself where you can truly acknowledge yourself, feel in love with who you are. So isn't it interesting how 5 seconds of discomfort, speaking up in the moment, saying what you want to say, contributing, can actually have a really negative compounding snowball effect? And all because one decision to not trust in your voice becomes an identity of not trusting in your voice. So please take this as an invitation to break the habit and use your voice more often.
One of the things that stops people from approaching strangers is the fear of rejection. I think people are extremely scared of no. Most adults, if you walked up to a group of humans and you said, do you mind if I join the conversation as well? Is that all right? Could I join you? 90% of people will say yes, especially when you're at a conference. You'll be shocked at how many people will take you in like you're a little lost puppy. Be prepared though, because the moment you do this, the first thing they're going to ask you is, tell us a little bit about yourself. And in that moment, how that experience plays out is dependent on how well you prepare for that answer. Very simple. I know it seems so blatantly obvious, but just don't be afraid to do it.
When you pause, the first thing is, you give people time to process what you're saying.
That's right.
Notice how when I pause, it gives you a chance to process the information. Whereas what people don't realize, when you don't pause, you don't give people any time to process anything that you've said. And as a result of that, there's no clarity in that communication. Because if I just keep talking about all the vocal foundations, I go from rate of speech to volume, and I don't really stop after any moments at all, and I just keep going through, after a while, you don't get an opportunity to pause, and you don't get an opportunity to process anything that I've said. Therefore, after a while, everything just becomes a bunch of information. Nothing really sticks out, nothing was highlighted, you don't even know what you're meant to be listening to.
That's noise.
When I pause intentionally to give you time to breathe in the lesson, to be able to process it. Second foundation for the pause, if you don't become comfortable with the pause, your speech will be littered with non-words and filler words. Non-words are the sounds we make to fill the silence. And filler words are the words we use to fill the silence. And so, like, do you know what I mean? We fill our speech with it. So, for example, if I wasn't comfortable with the pause, and as I was going through, do you know what I mean? When I get through to, do you know what I mean? When I get, and do you know what I mean? It's called verbal clutter. And when you've got lots of ums and ahs, what it does is it decreases the clarity of your message dramatically.
You win the room when your speech and charisma says so.
This is why storytelling is so important. Stories are sticky. Like, you remember details because they're sticky. If stories take up more memory space, you're taking up more of their brain. Hence, therefore, the relationship becomes deeper. Whereas most of the time when people go and meet people for the first time, there's never any storytelling. There's just facts and figure sharing. You must establish connection with storytelling.
People don't make it about the other person. They make it about themselves. It needs to be for them, the other person you're storytelling to.
They need to
get something out of it. They need to get something out of it. Because the whole time they're thinking, how is this relevant to me? That's what they're thinking the entire time. And then if you hit the relevance to them within 2 to 3 minutes, they go, yeah, man, that was good. Whereas if you told the story for 10 minutes and nothing for them, then they're just going to go, oh, cool story, bro. And then that's it.
That's why most people are afraid of storytellers. Hi everyone, look, so excited to be here to talk about the core vocal foundations of great communication. It's vital that you learn to apply the things you learn, otherwise you will not be able to amplify the best parts of who you are. Hi, great to see you all. I'm so excited to take you through some of the core vocal foundations. And as we deep dive and we apply these, it will help you amplify the best parts of who you are. Which was better? We don't need to debate it. And they've done extensive research that people who use their body language are perceived as being better leaders.
Good communication is as stimulating as black coffee and just as hard to sleep after.
The first 5 steps you take into any room determine
Pay
your
attention to
entire
this.
influence and status level. But here's the neuroscience. Your entrance either triggers respect or dismissal, and you can't undo that first impression. So here's how you can do that with power and presence. I want you to do what we call the doorway pause. Don't just rush past the doorway. I want you to stop in that doorway for 2 full seconds. Scan the room with confidence. Secondly, I want you to be intentional where you walk. I want you to walk with purpose towards the center of energy in the room. Your path communicates your confidence level. And third, it's what I call a connection sequence. I want you to make eye contact with at least 3 people as you move through the space and find your spot. A simple nod or a smile signals approachability and confidence. And then fourth is what I call your positioning choice. Don't hide behind furniture or walls. I want you to position yourself where you can see the room and that others can see you. Don't be invisible here. Influence starts with presence, and presence starts with how you claim your space. Your entrance sets the tone for every interaction that goes forward, so I want you to make it count.
Do you know why you're so good at being shy? You're so good at being shy because you've practiced shy behaviors for the last 5, 10, 20, 30 years. So to become confident, what is that? It's just a set of behaviors. I guess if I just talk like this, I guess I'm shy, right? So shy is just a series of behaviors. And if you practice those behaviors for 20 damn years, well then you're going to be very good at being shy. Confidence is just a set of behaviors that anyone can learn. It's so easy to go, I'm stuck being shy and I'm going to be shy for the rest of my life. Practice new behaviors, create a new identity.
Words have incredible power. They can make people's hearts soar, or they can make people's hearts soar.
When it comes like social setting, like let's say events, how do you confidently insert yourself into conversation and build genuine connection when you feel out of place?
Usually we're not good at something because we haven't done it much. Usually we feel anxious before we do something because you barely do it. Usually you feel the fear of rejection because you've barely done it and realize that every time you insert yourself into conversation with your nature, you get accepted. And you will. You have a lovely nature to you. If it's struggling with the words to go in, I'll give you something so simple. I'll find a group that looks like they're having fun because I want to go to that one. I don't want to go to one that looks boring, okay? So I'll find something fun. I'll be like, hi, looks like this is such a fun conversation. My name's Vin, can I just join? Right? And then the most important thing when you join is don't immediately take over the conversation. But you better be ready for this next part now. Because then they're going to go, oh, what's your name? Tell us a bit about yourself. Be ready for that.
Okay.
But then give the conversation back to the group and be a listener more than a takeover. The first time you try it, you're going to freak out, anxious to the max. But you know what happens? The 400th time you've done it, you become me. You have no fear now. You have no fear now.
Yeah.
And you do it. It's so crazy that every time we put out a pause video on social media, it always goes viral. It's because this is the thing that people struggle with the most. People are afraid of this because they don't understand why it's so powerful. When you're willing to pause, it increases curiosity. It increases tension. And more than this, when you're comfortable with the pause, it decreases the number of fillers. People use fillers in their everyday language because they don't pause. Right now, the ums and the ahs, they're just a behavior. That's become a habit. The new habit is replacing every time you feel the urge to use non-words or filler words, is to pause. That's the new habit you've got to develop. And the next thing is that when you pause more, it increases clarity. It's because when you pause, you give people time to process. Because I could have said all of that without pausing. I could have said one of the most powerful things about pausing is that it increases curiosity, also increases the tension, it decreases the number of fillers, and it also increases clarity. And what you can do there is you're going to be able to be more effective communicators as you learn how to do this more effectively. None of it sounded important, but when you learn how to make it sound important and add important content to it, oh, that's great music now being perceived as great music.
Raise your words, not your voice. It is rain that grows flowers. on this.
We say not because often we don't know what we're saying. We say as a way to stop the awkward silence when we're thinking. That you don't need that. Because when people present confidently, these are people that take up space. And guess what? A pause is only awkward if you allow it to be. It's only awkward if you make it awkward. Remember, you doubt you, they doubt you.
I'm Irish, obviously, and I speak very fast. Oh, I can't understand you, you're Irish. And it throws me off, confidence-wise. So just like any tips to overcome that?
The technique that's going to allow you to communicate more effectively is you have to learn to slow down.
Yeah.
Right? And that's just a habit that you have, and you have to learn how it feels to speak slower. Right now I'm speaking quite slowly, but it's because I'm aware of how it feels
It makes
to
you
speak
feel more
slowly.
comfortable
Whereas
speaking.
right now, your rate of speech is automatically being triggered by your subconscious mind because it's a habit that you've been repeating your entire life. So what you have to do now is take that intention of slowing down, bring it forward into the conscious mind, and have it on your phone every single damn day for the next 3 months. So bring it to the forefront of your mind and make this the new speed. I want you to ask me the same question again, but I want you to do it at this rate of speech. This is gonna freak you out!
Vin, I'm an Irish person, obviously, and when I speak on stage,
Slower.
I find that some of the people in the audience would find that I speak very fast and they can't understand what I might be saying. I might not get my message across.
Pause. Your clarity increased by like 200%.
That was so fucking hard.
Your body is always telling a story, and the people around you are reading every word of that story. They read your tone, your posture, and even your breathing. It's called emotional contagion. I once worked with a CEO who couldn't understand why his team was constantly anxious. His tone was clipped, his jaw was tight, and his eyes kept darting around. His body was broadcasting stress, and his team caught on to it. But what was fascinating, when I watched them present, you would see shallow breathing, tense shoulders, and speaking faster than normal, fidgeting with pens. When your team sees tension in your body, their brains create the same tension in their bodies, even if they don't consciously realize it. So here's the practical fix. Before any important conversation or meeting, I want you to take 3 diaphragmatic breaths, not chest breathing, but belly breathing. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system and signals calm to your body. Then I want you to consciously slow your speech rate down by about 10%. Your team will unconsciously match this calmer energy. I've seen entire meeting dynamics shift from just one leader managing their own nervous system first. You have to actually become calm first, then influence naturally follows.
The most valuable of all talents is that of never using 2 words when one will do.
This one hand positioning mistake is costing you credibility in every conversation. I see it everywhere. Executives with their hands shoved in their pockets, speakers gripping podiums, or maybe even fidgeting with their pens and crossing their arms defensively as they're talking. Here's the neuroscience that happens when you do that. When your hands are hidden or restricted, your audience's brain interprets that as either insecurity or deception. So here's what successful speakers do differently. They keep their hands visible in what I call the influence zone. Research shows that the top 10 speakers use significantly more hand gestures than the less successful ones. Your hands help the audience visualize your ideas and actually stay engaged. When your gestures match your message, you create a powerful visual frame and congruency that amplifies your meaning. And that's how you lead a room without even trying. So here's a practical application. Next time you're presenting or in an important conversation, I want you to keep your hands visible and use purposeful hand gestures to emphasize the key points that you're trying to make. If you're nervous, resist the urge to hide your hands. Instead, use them to illustrate what you're saying. Your hands are one of the most powerful influence tools that you possess. When you know how to use them correctly, they can be really powerful.
These simple hand gestures portrays you as a leader.
Here's the funny thing about the work that I do. People don't like being in a room with me. Because I coach the world's #1 fear. So what do I trigger for people when I'm in a room with them?
I told you, right? I hope you're happy joining us today. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button in the community. Remember, we are building a very strong community. We're trying to build a very strong community for both marketers and business owners. So hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that you always get notifications whenever we upload videos. Don't forget, we are building a very strong community for good marketers and business owners in Nigeria and Africa as a whole. So join the moving train right now. See you in the next episode. Bye.